Hey guys, so we're moving along with chapter 10. You should be on page 5 of your packets right now. So this is going to take us, or I'm sorry, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start adding and subtracting polynomials. So now we've talked about what is a polynomial, how do we classify it, how do we name it, right? Now we're going to actually start doing some stuff with it. So in order to do that, we're going to do a quick review. There's these four problems at the top that say simplify each expression by distributing or combining like terms. So remember, distribute means we're looking for something with parentheses and we're going to end up multiplying, right? And then anytime we combine like terms, we're going to be adding. So if we take a look at this first one here, it says 7x plus 5 plus 2x minus 1. Well, there's no parentheses, so I'm not going to be doing any distributing, but there are like terms. I can see that there's a 7x and a positive 2x. And if I put those together, if I add 7 plus 2 is 9x. And then I can see that there's a plus 5 and a minus 1. Those are both just constants because they're both just numbers. So I do 5 minus 1 and I get plus 4. So there is my simplified expression. All right. Same thing for number 2. Identify those like terms. So 3x squared and negative 4x squared. If I combine those, 3 plus negative 4 gives me negative 1. So I'm actually just going to make it negative x squared. And then I can see that there's a negative 2x and there's a positive x. Remember, in front of this x, there's actually a 1. So it's really negative 2 plus 1, which means this is minus x. Now for number 3, we can see that there's parentheses. We know that parentheses mean we have to distribute. So everything that's inside the parentheses gets the 2. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then one more, we've got this negative 3 that we're distributing now. So it's going to be negative 3 times negative 2x, which is a positive 6x. And negative 3 times negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. And there we go. All right, so in order to add and subtract polynomials, this is what you have to be able to do. Literally, that's it. You have to be able to distribute and combine like terms. All right, so I'm going to give you an example here where we're going to do some adding. So our first polynomial is going to be 7x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 3. And the second polynomial that we have is negative 2x to the third plus 6x squared. So I have this right here is a quartic trinomial, right? It's got a degree of 4 and it's got 3 terms. And then here I have a cubic binomial. So I'm going to take these two polynomials and add them together. Well, the thing we have to remember is we just set up here if there's parentheses that we should be distributing. Well, there's just positive ones in front of here, right? Which really means the first thing we're going to do when we're adding is we're just going to drop the parentheses. So it's 7x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 3, and then just minus 2x to the third plus 6x squared, right? This plus and negative really just means minus. Well, now that the parentheses are gone, now all I have to do is combine like terms. So find the things that are the same. So 7x to the fourth, well, that's the only thing that's got a power of 4. So that's going to be by itself. But then we can see this negative 6x squared right here and a positive 6x squared right here. And then let's see what else. We can see that there's this positive 3, that's the only constant, and this minus 2x cubed is its own also. So when we write our answer, it needs to be in standard form, which means I always just look for the highest exponent first. So that would be that 7x to the fourth. And then the next highest exponent would be this one with a 3, so minus 2x to the third. When we have negative 6x squared and positive 6x squared, negative 6 plus 6 is actually 0, so those cancel each other out, which means there is nothing with an x squared. And then the last piece that we're left with is this plus 3. And so there is our final answer for that one. Now I'm going to take those same polynomials, but now I'm going to make it a subtraction. So 7x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 3 minus negative 2x to the third plus 6x squared. So the exact same polynomials, right? All I did was change this plus sign to a minus sign. Well, now when we look, there's still nothing to distribute with this parenthesis, but on this one, there's that negative 1. So we're going to take the negative 1 and we're going to distribute it inside, which means we now have 7x to the fourth minus 6x squared plus 3, right? This one didn't change. We're not distributing anything there. But now we have a negative 1 times a negative 2x cubed, which is a positive 2x cubed, and then a negative 1 times 6x squared, which is now a negative 6x squared. Well, now if we look, those like terms that we had before, there still are like terms, right? Negative 6x squared and negative 6x squared. But now they're both negative 6, which means when I combine them, they actually become negative 12x squared. So we do have to be careful there. So our final answer here, let's see, 7x to the fourth still comes first. And then we have a plus 2x to the third. Negative 6x squared and negative 6x squared gives us negative 12x squared. And then we have the plus 3. So there's our final answer for that one. So you can see by taking the same polynomials, if we add them or if we subtract them, we're getting different answers, which makes sense. If you add two numbers or subtract them, they're going to be different answers. So it's the same thing with polynomials. But really all you're doing is getting rid of the parentheses and then combining like terms. So just a couple of notes here at the bottom. If you are adding the polynomials, you just drop the parentheses. And the reason for this is because you are distributing positive 1. And we know that if we distribute a positive 1, it doesn't change anything. So there's no point in actually doing it, right? But the important part here then is that if you are subtracting the polynomials, you must distribute the negative first. And it's a negative 1. So always distribute that negative 1 when we're actually doing the subtraction, okay? And then the last thing that's really important is we always want to make sure that your answer is written in standard form. All right, so those are your notes on the adding and subtracting polynomials. What I'd like to do then is I'm gonna divide out this space that we had here, and I'm gonna give you one more example of each. So I would like you guys to try these, and then when you take pictures of your notes and upload them to Google Classroom for me, make sure these two problems are done so that I can check them and I can make sure we are all on the right track, okay? So there's our first polynomial, 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 5 plus, let's see, 3x squared minus 8x plus 13. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, but now we're going to subtract. So 3x cubed plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 5 minus 3x squared minus 8x plus 13. All right, so try both of those two examples in your packet here, and then take a picture of this page in your notes and upload it to Google Classroom. That's your e-learning assignment. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me or Mr. Howley right away, and we will make sure that we get those answered for you. All right, take care, guys.